OD Institute has its name dating back from 2014. The origination, or should I say the establishment of the OD Institute, dates back to February 1994. In that we are first registered as a consultancy firm called Organization Capacity Improvement Consultant until 2014, when we transformed to become the OD Institute. As part of the accreditation process, the OCSC, or the Organization Capacity Improvement Consultant, was thought to be not, by the National Accreditation Board, not a suitable name for a tertiary institution, which we have now become. So, in short, the OD Institute was established in 1994 as OCSC, now OD Institute.
Currently, the Institute runs MA in Organizational Development as well as Postgraduate Diploma in Organizational Development.
I'm the president of the Full Gospel Church International based in Tema. We have about 65 branches in the country, 5 churches in Europe, and I superintend all those churches. And apart from the fact that I'm a bishop, I wear a couple of hats. I'm also a leadership development consultant, and I have specialized in leadership training and coaching, transition management, producing and training people to become effective leaders to impact their society and their world.
I am working with the GIZ, the German Development Corporation in Ghana. I'm working at the Competitive Cashew Initiative project, and I used to work as a communication officer in Ghana for the last 4 years, and now I changed my position together with starting a master's program in Ghana on a sector organization focusing mainly on Ghana. So as my first degree, I studied international communication in the Netherlands. I'm German, but I studied in the Netherlands. And already at that time, when I studied international communication, I already studied at the University of Cape Coast in Ghana. So that's how I came here. Then started working in GIZ, and now by coincidence again study at a university that is linked to the University of Cape Coast, and it's the OD Institute, and I'm working on, or I'm studying organization development there.
Essentially, we are an organization that is working in the cashew value chain. So we are dealing with producers, processors, retailers, and the rest along the value chain. And my responsibility is to create linkages along this value chain so that we can have sustainable supply of cashew along the value chain. I am a trained economist and also a banker, and previously I had worked with GIZ as a fund manager, and then gone back to work in the banking circles and come back again. Coming back, I had been here responsible for a matching fund program, which eventually then I moved on into this supply chain linkage, which I hold now. I hold also a master's degree in agricultural economics, and from the University of Ghana, and currently then studying for an MA in organization development.
Well, I hold a Bachelor of Theology in the area of my profession as a pastor. I also hold a master's degree in governance and leadership from GIMPA. And then I also hold a second master's degree in social policy from University of Ghana. And basically that really prepares me for what I do in society. And then I decided to take my third master's in organization development. The reason why I decided to do that, governance and leadership definitely has a link with organization development.
Organization development is, at least in my book, Global OD, we define it as facilitating an organization's capability to self-reflect, self-diagnose, and take actions that will direct them on course to achieving the reasons for their existence. What that means is, unlike other developmental approaches, the OD practitioner does not go to tell the client what to do, but rather to reflect what the client is showing like on his or her radar, and together to come up with possible solutions. We find that very useful in the sense that no client, in my over 30 years of practice as an OD consultant, no client will give you 100% data that you need to work with. They're trying to protect themselves, so I don't blame them. If it's 40%, 50% data they give you, how do you achieve 100% success out of 50% data? Impossible. But if you engage the client and involve the client in the discussions, even the 50% data they have not given you, they would have made use of it in proposing what might work. That way, the OD practitioner stands a higher chance of being successful.
If you go through OD, organization development, what it means is that you should be able to understand issues such as openness, communication, teamwork, issues such as emotional intelligence. And these are issues which have their relevance on our day-to-day lives, even at the family level. Beyond that, if you want to look at it from a professional point of view, as in you being an organization development professional or consultant, what it means is that organizations have to grow and then make improvements. And improvement is possible if we understand the concept of change. And so OD is about change. OD is about how organizations will understand they need to assess themselves. They need to have what you call self-reflection, self-reinvigoration, self-management, so they can institute change, they can conceptualize change, and drive it.
For me, church is an organization. And for a church to become very effective, I want to really understand the dynamics of the organization and how well I can contribute in developing the church. My vision is not only within Full Gospel Church International. My vision is beyond Full Gospel Church International. I want to be of a major and effective tool for churches beyond Full Gospel.
I am the Director of Administration for the Full Gospel Church International. I have been working with the Bishop of this church, Right Reverend S.N. Mensah, for close to 5 years now in that capacity. I can confirm that since the Bishop enrolled in the OD program at the Institute, there have been significant improvements in the way we're going about managing the church. One of the key areas is the area of relationship and culture of the church. Through a research study he did, he brought the report back to the church, and we realized that we are making some good progress in that, but there are rooms for improvement, and he's making effort for us to improve on our culture of relationship as an organization.
For anybody to be part of the OD Institute, the person should have a good first degree, that is with at least second class lower. Aside that, we also have some special admissions where a student with a diploma in any of the social sciences is accepted, but that student should also have 5 years experience in his field of work.
I had also come to the point where I realized that I needed some kind of other dimensions to what I know to be able to rise very fast and to be at the very top also. And then I had the opportunity to participate in a certain program on organization development, and then I said, aha, this is it. So when they advertised it, I looked at the curriculum and saw that they were really going to cover all the areas that I have found very missing, very wanting in my career, and I thought this is why I should go in for this course. So I applied for it and went for an interview, very competitive, and was selected, and I'm happy to be there.
I was interested in organization development before because I worked with an OD practitioner before, just on a regular basis or here and there as part of the project. And the field always seemed very interesting to me, and then my boss suggested that I should enroll in the program. She knows the president of the university. And yeah, so this is why I enrolled, and I was still in need of a master because I don't have one yet. I only studied international communication as bachelor's degree in the Netherlands, and I was looking for one anyways. And when I saw the program outline, it was very clear that you could combine it with working every day.
We did sign a memorandum of understanding with the University of Cape Coast, which is our mentoring institution. It is a legal requirement that mentoring institutions should go into an agreement with the mentored institution, that's ourselves, and to outline the expectations from both sides, what they expect of us, what we expect of them. We are glad to have signed it. We are very happy to be here and to be signing this MOU today. We hope the cooperation and the support we are receiving, or we have started receiving, through the Institutional Affiliation Office, the establishment as a whole, will not diminish, but if anything at all, will continue and be even stronger than it has so far been.
And so we want to demonstrate our friendship. We want to show that we are together until chapter do expand.
Our first batch of students matriculated on the 9th of July 2016, where we had 28 students matriculating.
Solemnly and sincerely promise to study. Diligently. Contribute to the best of my ability. To achieve high level of professional knowledge. And act to conform to all status. Regulations. And rules insofar as they concern me. I declare that I will pay due respect and obedience. To the President and other officers of the Institute.
You will be challenged to break new grounds. Your mind will be stretched. Your horizon will be broadened. Your spirit will be sharpened. Your conscience renewed. You will be challenged to move out of your traditional comfort zones into new territories. And I affirm, with God, all things are possible. There is no other institution on the continent of Africa as an institutionalized, accredited OD program. Now, some years back, I was at a design conference in South Africa where a university from South Africa asked for my help to assist them to design their postgraduate diploma in OD. As far as I know, they're still going through their system to get accreditation for it so they could start.
Some of the opportunities that are available for the products who go through this course include when they become consultants. So they work as team building consultants. They build teams in organizations. Two, they help organizations to have what you call strategic planning. And all organizations have strategic planning. So they help organizations to have their own strategic planning. And the difference between what the OD consultant does and what the other consultants, we call them the technical experts, what they do is that the OD consultants, when we are helping our clients to have strategic planning, we, in addition to helping them get strategic planning, we help them know how to set or get their own strategic planning so that in future they may not even have to depend on us to get strategic plan. And this is where the key difference is from other consultants. Yeah, beyond that, you also help organizations to assess themselves. So you can be an internal consultant. So what it means is that, for instance, any of the banks, any of the ministries, any of the departments, government agencies, you can be there as an internal consultant. And what do? You are a driver of change. You drive change. You help the ministry, the agency, or the organization to occasionally assess itself to know where it is and where it can move to in terms of its growth and improvement.
Churches, I said, are organizations. They have 4 phases. As a matter of fact, 3 phases in the organization of a church. The church has a phase what we call celestial, which is spiritual inclined. The church also, also consists of a phase called the community phase of the church. That is the fellowship, how it must be, taken care of, how people must be taken care of, people might feel wanted. But also the church has a phase which is the corporate phase of the church. Most importantly, and for most often, pastors all around the world focus on the 2 phases of the church. The celestial, which is driven by pastors, the community, which is driven by church workers and volunteers, and they forget the corporate phase of the church. It's like a 3-legged stool. So if one leg is broken, the stool cannot stand and you can't sit on it. Most churches are operating on 2-legged stool and they've forgotten the corporate phase. So that for me gave me the impetus and the desire and the will to really go to enroll in ODIP, understand the dynamics of organization development so that I can bring it to bear and help churches to concentrate on that corporate phase for which has been neglected around the world. And everybody thinks church is only spiritual, but it's not only spiritual. It's a community based, it's spiritual, but it also has a corporate. There must be office, there must be structures, there must be system, there must be vision, there must be mission, there must be structures that will drive the people. And there must be strategic planning. There must be succession planning. How can these things be if we don't have people who are competent in organizational management?
If OD is about facilitating an organization's capacity to self-reflect and self-diagnose, this element of continual self-renewal process is relevant to every organization. You see, organizations have growth span from the pioneer stage, mature and adult. So if it gets to the old or mature stage, unless it renovates, it dies. And so it means whether you are private sector, public sector, ministries and so on you talked about, or not-for-profit sector, if the renovation is not going on, innovation is not going on, the organization like life, like human life, birth and death, will be the same for organizations as well.
We are being given the practical, experience in organization development, but also very strong theoretical foundation. To the extent that I know why I am being asked to do something over there. It's also being done in a certain environment where they are open to us, questioning the knowledge they give us. They are open to us also bringing our own dimensions and perspectives beyond what they teach us. And where we have some confusion as to understanding the logic behind what they teach, they allow us to, they have the patience, let me say, to clarify for us and to make sure that our knowledge in the area is well deepened.
We had very, very practical sessions on facilitation skills, for example, where we had to try out our different facilitation skills. We had peer-to-peer review sessions where we got feedback from the trainers, also from the teachers, but also from our other colleagues, because we are all in professions, we all work, so we are not denied our expertise that we already have, which is really nice. So we can learn from each other and learn from the teachers, which I think gives us a benefit and really helps.
Many of our students are directors, we have managers, we have CEOs across organizations, agencies. We have some of our students who are even regional directors, regional managers who are all over here because they also understand that change is leadership driven. And so they are going through this course to understand what change, this whole concept of change is about, this whole OD, what we call the OD way, is about.
The main reason of bringing the program to Africa, if you see most of the partnership loans from the development partners, from the rich West, that the least developed countries, or the LDCs as they are called, get. If you read between the dotted line, they are asked to look for an OD practitioner to help with the implementation. Now, Africa hasn't got those people, so they are given to us. And they don't come on economy class like you and I do most of the time. They come on business class or first class flights. They don't stay in 1 or 2 star hotels, 5 or more star hotels, the moving pick and all. And so at the end of the day, unconfirmed reports say that about 50% of the grant money goes back to source by paying those experts. Now, they trained me both in the UK and Sweden. If what they have given me, I'm now bringing that to train our people, then we are taking another excuse away from the rich imperialist world. And so in the 90s, when I started the program in Ethiopia, in Kenya, and to Ghana, 2001, to me, the drive was to take another excuse away that will keep the little money, the little resources we have in Africa for Africans and to stay with us and help us with our development.
For me, if you ask me, is OD needed and is OD relevant? It is just like asking whether a medical doctor is needed and a medical doctor is relevant in our society. As long as there would be human beings, and there are human beings, you cannot do without a medical doctor who takes care of you when you are sick. You can't do without an OD practitioner as long as there is one more organization that remains on planet Earth. There would be the need of an OD practitioner who comes in to help organization to reinvent itself, re-engineer itself, retooling itself, and position itself to meet the dynamics of world changes. Because our world is changing, society is changing, the environment is changing, and there is so much pressure on every organization. How can the organization position itself? How can a church position itself to respond to the dynamics of our world? How can organizations position themselves to respond to the changes of our world? You will need an OD practitioner that can equip and help organizations become very effective to respond to the dynamics of our world. No human being can do without a medical doctor. So no organization can survive without an OD practitioner. I recommend OD to any individual, whether you're a pastor, an engineer, whether you're a lawyer, whichever field you find yourself in, get something about OD, and that can prepare you to become a better person, to probably position yourself to respond to the dynamics of our world. Our world will become more complex than ever before. Hence, the need for an OD practitioner in our world, not only just for the society, but even for the nation. The more practitioners we have in terms of OD, the better our society and our community would become. Because you know what? They will help, they understand the system. How can we bring community to become much more effective? How can the community mobilize themselves to respond to the dynamics of their society? How can the community come together and address their needs and move their community to a better level? So OD, for me, is inevitable if any society and organization needs to survive in this jungle we find ourselves in.
Here in OD Institute, we have a special calendar where each and every part of the year we do admit students. Students are admitted at any point in time. This is because, or this is due to the fact that we run the programs in models. We have the modularized program where after a batch of students have completed 3 weeks of their program, they go on break. Then after the 1 month or the 1.5 month break, they resume and continue with another model. So usually we don't have a specific period where we do admit students. At any part of the year, based on the number of applicants or the number of applications we receive, we review them and we start the program when we start a particular batch.
What makes our approach to teaching quite unique is the training bits we add to what we do. And by training, what it means is that we make the teaching become so practical. So over here, although I'm a lecturer, but once I'm before my student, I'm a facilitator. So what it means is that the chunk of the learning process is driven by the student themselves, whilst the lecturer serves as a facilitator. So that is it. We will do a lot of practicals, we do a lot of workshops over here, we do video learning and so many other things that you will not find it in the mainstream universities. And that's what makes us unique.
My personal expectations were that I become like the OD practitioners that I know. And I only know OD practitioners from Ghana. But recently I had the chance to, also through the OD Institute, to travel through India for a conference on organization development, which was brilliant and which showed me that there are many different people who practice organization development. There are many different people in many different professions who practice organization development with very different characteristics. And that helped me because I live in Ghana, I love Ghana, but I'm not a Ghanaian. I'm still German somehow. So studying it in a Ghanaian context for me is adding a lot of value because for me it has this intercultural component which I really love. But I also was curious how practitioners worldwide do it from other countries, from other cultures. And I could see that anybody from anywhere can be a good practitioner and everybody does it in a way that suits their personality, that suits their working life and their way of being, and that was very, very encouraging for me.
I had the expectation that I'll be given deeper knowledge, content-wise, exposure-wise, and we have so far, from the way I see it, I have been able to reach to that extent.
The mission of the organization, the mission statement for the OD Institute is linked to our vision. Of course, the mission statement is supposed to help us achieve the vision. So in line with that, the OD Institute is a tertiary institution, a private sector tertiary institution that trains, involved in research, involved in training of high caliber managers that will help transform organizations. So we do this by training managers. Most of our students that we have currently are managers, directors from various organizations, private sector, public sector, and not-for-profit sector organizations, and they are going back to the organizations that they have started doing with their practical assignments.
Another area has to do with our planning, and he brought a lot of that to bear on the giant conference, which is the annual convocation program of the church that we did just this August, September. A lot of the planning has brought about excellent results for the conference, and nearly all our speakers testified that there has been a significant change in the way we're running the church. Speakers like Reverend Robert Andor, Bishop James Sarr, Reverend Dr. Ampia Kofi, Bishop Charles Ajinasari, who were guest speakers at the Giant Conference. Each one of them testified that Full Gospel has gone through a transformation, and we believe it's all as a result of the impact of the OD cause that the bishop is doing, which is translating into how we are planning, managing, and running the Full Gospel Church. And I think I can confirm, therefore, that the organizational development course is helping the bishop introduce some changes, helping run and manage the church in a lot more dynamic and transformational way, and we are witnesses to that.
If someone is looking for the theoretical basis to build a foundation of understanding of what organization development is, and from there raise up to become an OD practitioner with a fundamental understanding of the concepts of organization development, and from there develop the practical skills and really get like a holistic view on what organization development is, then the OD Institute definitely is the right address.
I hope at the end of the day, anytime the name OD Institute is mentioned, it will be, oh, the Transformers. If I hadn't gotten there, my life would not have changed. If I hadn't gotten there, I would not have saved my marriage. If I hadn't gotten there, our organization would not be where it is today. If I haven't gotten there, the politicians we have today will be different. The OD Institute Transforming Life, Transforming Organizations is not only the institutional level, but the individual practitioner is also shaped in a way that falls in line with the delivery of OD. So there is a component in the program we call Self as a Vehicle for Change. So the transformation is total, and I hope in future, anytime the name OD Institute is mentioned, the trigger will be, how the Transformers